I've realized I have anger issues with women and also men. It doesn't matter if you have the right of way when you're driving across the intersection if you get hit by a truck. If you're planning on being a musician, you better be on The Voice, which is a hit television program. If not, you have to accept a job where you will be paid at a rate that is less than what would be required to pay your bills and be an upstanding citizen. If you can't handle that, then you need to go to jail, where you will be paid, I think, a nickel to work for the state. A nickel an hour. It's a nickel an hour, like $14 an hour after taxes, or I bet they don't even pay you that much to be on The Voice. $50,000 once, and then you have to be in a pornography film. Yeah, don't you love it when somebody gives you advice? Like, I'm just trying to help you, man. And then they tell you that you're terrible. Never listen to advice. Somebody starts trying to give you advice and they start quoting dead people. Oh, well, you know, this person that you probably like always said. No, they didn't. They did not. You don't know what they always said. You know what they said to me. They didn't say anything to you. I want to one day have the audacity of a bank. Like a banker. I want to have the audacity of an IRS. I want to have the audacity of a police union. I want to have the audacity of a telecommunications company. I want to have the audacity of a privileged white person making fun of everything. I want to have the audacity of a pine cone. A pine cone has practical audacity. A pine cone can start a fire. A pine cone can start a pine tree. A pine cone you could throw for recreation and then it'll start a pine tree, and it tricked you into being its mode of transportation with your skills at taking a projectile and moving it from point A to point B. I like pine cones. One time my grandmother said she wanted a giant one, and I heard there were big ones on Mount Diablo. It's the only time I've ever been there. I think it's the only time I've ever been to Pleasanton, because you have to drive through Pleasanton to get to Mount Diablo. And I walked up Mount Diablo and I found several giant pine cones, and I can't remember if I mailed it to her in Pennsylvania or I brought them in my suitcase. Those pine cones were smart as shit. Yeah. I was talking about how don't take advice. People say, just get a job at Starbucks. Don't. Go on unemployment or rob a bank. No, I don't know. I don't honestly want to tell somebody to rob a bank because I don't want to hurt people. I do want to rob a bank, but purely to expose the hypocrisy and the bureaucracy that frustrates everyone. But then somebody just works there for... How much do you pay to work at a bank? Probably very little at this point. $40,000 with health insurance? I mean, that's nothing to shake a stick at. Most of the world doesn't get paid that, but at all. Yeah, but I don't want to shoot one of them. But it seems like being a bank robber would be fun until you got caught. Like Pretty Boy Floyd and Jesse James, but Jesse James got canceled because he was racist. Pretty Boy Floyd, I hope wasn't racist. And by racist I mean think, which is contrary to science, that somebody's genetics based upon how they express themselves are superior or inferior, thereby justifying to the whites the class system that they're too dumb to know is being imposed on them as well. They are a victim of a shell game. Don't tell me what my ethnicity is, I'll tell you. I'm Russian. Russian's not an ethnicity. I'm Russian. I'm Russian. Russian's not an ethnicity. I'm Russian. I'm Russian. I'm Russian. You can't speak with the crappy Russian accent and then prove that you're Russian. Can I speak with a crappy other accent that I'm not allowed to talk in? I think that's a different skit. I've checked off my list today of experimental film projects. I hope the audio, without an external microphone, on this camera is good enough. And that's all. Today is Monday, July 27th, I believe. Farewell.